Okay, so that takes us to the step where we need to create a post title, publish a post, and promote it. Let's move on to creating a post title. Now, to show you the process of going from brainstormed idea to keyword group. So I did that with how to create a marketing budget, but the post I want to show you is one that I've already published. So the keyword group there is low budget marketing ideas. After going through the same process I just showed you, I came up with a keyword group. Boy, this really fits what I was talking about, doesn't it? About how I don't always go off the numbers. So I found marketing on a budget, 58 estimated searches, and I've got all these nice variants on marketing on a budget. Marketing on a tight budget, low budget marketing tools, low budget marketing strategies. A lot of variations here. CPCs are high, there just doesn't seem to be much traffic. So what I need to do is figure out a post title that would cover this keyword group and let me write a post that served the searcher. And the one I came up with is this: marketing on a tight budget, low-cost ideas from real businesses. Going back to Niche Refinery, let's see what we covered. By having my post title say marketing on a tight budget, I covered marketing on a budget, I covered marketing on a tight budget. I didn't hit marketing on a small business on a budget, or low budget marketing strategies, or low budget marketing tools, but you'll see that in the post I actually was able to hit on some of those points. Remember how I mentioned at the very beginning that things are not often or even they're not usually or even very often very scientific? This is an example. I didn't say what's the perfect post to help me make sure this keyword group is perfectly handled. I just said, what is a post that I feel like I could write that would offer some value and cover the keyword group pretty effectively? And I came up with this: marketing on a tight budget, low-cost ideas from real businesses. If we do a search, Command F, let's see if any of these, marketing on a budget. Okay, so the exact phrase marketing on a budget does not appear, but Google will pick up on marketing on a budget in my post title. So that's a really key insight for you guys, all of you who wonder whether you have to stuff every keyword variant into the post. You don't. You absolutely don't. This post over here, how to start up your own small business with no money and bad credit, do you think that I have all 330 of those long tail variations in my post on that subject? I would bet you that fewer than 5 of the keywords that brought me traffic appear in this post. And it will be something similar with this post. I'm telling Google, by having my title contain marketing on a tight budget and contain the word low and contain the word cost and ideas, I'm saying, hey Google, I'm here for you to send traffic about anything relating to marketing on a budget, marketing on a tight budget, low cost marketing, low budget marketing, low cost marketing ideas. Google knows now that my post has to do with all of those things. And Google is very good at what it does. As my site becomes more authoritative in Google's eyes, and as it ages, and as I promote it, even though very few, if any, of these variants, see, I have low budget marketing, but I don't have tools. I do have low budget marketing ideas. All of these variants can bring me traffic even if they don't appear directly in the post. So when you create the post, do a good job covering the keyword group with the title. Let the post flow freely. Trust Google to do what it's good at. Here's my one cheat that I use. My one cheat that I use is the tags. And down here in the tags, you'll see that if I feel like I want to just get these terms on the page, I'll use them as tags. Low budget marketing strategies and marketing on a tight budget. By the way, it doesn't make a lot of sense that I use marketing on a tight budget here because it's in my title. This could have been low budget marketing tools or any of the other variations. But like I've told you, this isn't about perfect science, it's about massive action. This just happens to be one of my cheats that I use to get the keyword onto the page if it doesn't fit easily into my post. And for those of you who want to ask whether I should always use my variants as tags, so I'd have 6 or 7 or 8 tags, to me that looks spammy and ugly and I don't want to do it. So I'm not doing it. You may try it and have a great experience with that, but I'm not doing it. I may use 2 or 3 tags max on a post, but I'm calling it good at that because I don't want to look like spam. So that gets us through the post title and getting keywords into the post and tagging the post. What questions do you have about that step in the process? Someone says, so you're combining long tail keywords to come up with a better long tail keyword. You could say that, but it's not even that I'm trying to come up with a better long tail keyword. All I'm looking at is, here's my keyword group, and there are variations within this group. I've got the variation that is tools, that is strategies, tight, low. There's tools again, and I just want to hit as many of those little stragglers as I can without feeling like it's forced. Let's look at another example. Let's come back to this how to start up your own small business with no money and bad credit. Let's look at the post title. We know that the keyword group covers things like start a business with no money, how to start a business with no money, how to start your own business with no money. So the post title I came up with is how to start up your own small business with no money and bad credit, because it covers so many of those variants that are in my niche refinery group. How to start a business with no money, start a business with no money, starting a business with no money, how to start your own business with no money. All of these are handled pretty well with this post title, how to start up your own small business with no money and bad credit. And then you say I start off right off the bat. I want to start a business, but I have no money. If I come into analytics and I filter and say show me keywords that have I want. Oh, it's searching on the landing page, not on the keyword. What you'd see if I were in the right view here is that there are lots of keywords that contain this term want, and there are lots that contain I have no money or have no money or no money. So I'm not trying to stuff every one of them into my post. I'm trying to fit all of the stragglers in the best way that I can while producing the best post that I can. The combination of those is bringing me lots and lots of traffic. Someone says, what is the ideal length of posts minimum? I hear 400 words a lot, or max length. I hear that 750 words is now ideal. That's all a crock. I'm sorry, but and I'm so glad you brought it up. Such a great question, because anybody who tells you that they can verify that they've tested that this length of post does better than that length of post, I'm telling you it's a crock. You cannot scientifically test that. You want to use some common sense. 3,000 words is something like 6 or 7 pages. I don't think you want to ask a searcher to sit there and scroll through 7 pages of text. You don't want to scroll through 7 pages of text. So I personally tend to be a little bit more long-winded when I post. I tend to have posts right around 1,000 words. I don't believe that puts me at any kind of advantage necessarily, and I don't believe it puts me at any kind of disadvantage. All I know is that when I've finished that post, I reread it and I say, yeah, if a searcher landed on this, I'd feel good about the information I was delivering them. I may have accomplished the same thing in 300 words. I may have accomplished the same thing in 600 words. You can't fall into the trap of saying that a post needs to be this length or that length. You just want to say, what are the keywords in the group? And have I dealt with the question that those keywords ask? If my post is about starting a small business with no money, have I given that searcher a couple of insights into what it really means to start a business with no money? And if I have in 300 words, then my job is done. And if I have in 1,000 words, then my job is done. But don't fall into the trap of posts are this length or that length. Someone says, so Mark, are you saying that as long as the keyword is relevant to the topic, even if it does not meet the criteria, you're basically saying go ahead and use it? This is kind of going back to keyword selection. That's mostly that's pretty much what I'm saying. With the big emphasis on the idea that for you to make substantial income with this method, you will have to repeat this process. Not the process of setting up one site, but the process of finding a keyword group, targeting it with a post. You'll have to repeat that process hundreds of times over the next years, next year, 2 years, 3 years. If you want to make $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month online, you will have to do this hundreds and hundreds of times. If you will do it hundreds and hundreds of times, not only will you be successful, but after hundreds of times going through this process, you will develop your own instinct about whether a keyword group will perform or not. You'll develop your own habits and workflow to improve the process. I want you to target almost any keyword group that you can find that shows even a glimmer of hope of panning out for you. And I want to make sure that you understand that you can't ever look at a single post and decide whether things are going well or going badly. You have to look at the body of work. You have to look at dozens of posts to say, oh, yeah, this is going pretty well. Or, oh, this is not really going very well. I wonder why not. Someone asks, are you sure that there will be enough keyword groups that you really can end up with hundreds of posts? I'm concerned with finding enough ideas and info about those ideas to write hundreds of posts. Yes, absolutely. I have no concern about that. Because right now today, you're sitting and you're looking at something like, well, I'm interested in this little subject. I'm interested in lifting weights, you might say. And so what do you got? You got bench press, squat, deadlift, press, like overhead press. You got barbell curls. I can only come up with 10 ideas. How could I possibly end up with hundreds of posts? Well, if you'll use the keyword brainstorming tools, and if you will commit to learning about and experiencing your keywords, your topic, every day new keyword ideas will be hitting you in the face. Every single day. And you'll take an idea, you'll go and brainstorm it. In the fitness world, it would be like, oh, well, I started with something like chest workout, or I started with something like bench press, and then I found out that there's this whole subset of keywords around a workout program called strong lifts. And then within strong lifts, I found out this whole subset of keywords about deadlift. And I found this whole subset of keywords about squats and deep squats. And it just snowballs to the point where you'll never have time to cover all the keyword groups that you find. So every day you'll be able to fire up Niche Refinery, you'll be able to choose a keyword group, write about it, promote it, and you'll have dozens and hundreds of keyword groups waiting for you. And that shouldn't feel overwhelming. It should just feel like this is great news, because now I'm never going to run out of productive, profitable work that I can do today to grow my income online. This is a fantastic job. You'll never run out of keyword ideas. Here's a really, really good question. Someone is talking about this right here, and she asks, doesn't the use of the word tight limit the traffic you can get to keyword variations that contain tight? In other words, why would Google send you traffic relating to marketing on a budget if you're putting tight in their way? Great question. And the answer is they're just good at it. And the better answer is there are only so many pages out there that do a good job of discussing marketing on a budget. So if I create a page that's called Marketing on a Tight Budget, and I promote this page effectively, and I send Google the message that this page is important and it is relevant, Google will send me traffic for marketing on a budget, even though I've got tight in the way. Google may also send me traffic for marketing or for low-cost marketing ideas. See, low-cost marketing ideas. Terms are there. They're all in my post title. Google could eventually send me traffic for that phrase just as easily. It is true that this is the one that will come easiest for me, marketing on a tight budget. But again, through effective promotion and as my site's authority and relevance improves, this post can get traffic for any number of keyword variations. It's just hard conceptually for beginners to understand. Google does not decide what the page is about strictly based on the sequential terms that appear on the page. Google looks at the page holistically. It looks at the links pointing to the page, it looks at the text on the page, it looks at the site where the page lives, it takes all these factors into consideration in deciding what keywords the page should rank for. So marketing on a tight budget, marketing on a budget, low cost marketing, it's all in there. Should we never use graphs or other images? No, you should absolutely use graphs, images, graphics, anything that enhances the user's experience, you should use. The time will come where I'll go back through my Big Enough Business posts and I'll look for opportunities to introduce graphics and images and stuff like that. I just haven't yet. You shouldn't look at me and say, well, because Mark hasn't done it yet, I'm not going to do it. As you're writing a post and you say, you know what, if I had a napkin right here, this is you talking to yourself, if I had a napkin right here, I'd make this really cool graphic that perfectly illustrates the concept I'm writing about. Then you should stop right then, open up a free graphics program, chicken scratch a graphic out, and put that graphic in the post. That would be great. That enhances the user experience, and we're all about that. This is kind of piggybacking on a question I got earlier. Let's say you start off with a dozen keyword groups but have found that you've exhausted the subject, so you stop posting. Okay, we got to stop there. After a dozen keyword groups, there's no possible way you've exhausted the subject. No way. Because you can either go up or you can go down. What do I mean by going up or down? I mean, you can either go, by going down, I mean you can go more narrow in the subject. You know, you could go back to the weightlifting thing. You could go chest workouts to bench press, to proper bench press form, to dumbbell bench press, to incline bench press, to decline bench press. You know, you hit all these subjects and you say, well, I've kind of said everything I feel like there is to say about bench press. And so you go back to the top and say, oh, I was on chest workouts. Well, what about arm workouts? And then you've got this whole other family of keywords inside arm workouts, and then leg workouts, and then back workouts, and then calf workouts, and then shoulder workouts. I mean, it never, ever ends. And once you've done all that, then you talk about proper nutrition for weightlifting. And you talk about proper form. And you talk about weightlifting injuries. And then you talk about, what else? You get the point. You guys get the point. You've never exhausted a subject. But this person does, the second half of her question is very good. How often do I need to keep adding posts to a site to keep it live? For example, you know, just to maintain the site so it doesn't just sit there. There's not an SEO requirement for updating a site. This is a commonly asked question. How often do I have to refresh my site so Google doesn't see it as stale? Well, I've had sites that sit unupdated, untouched, for months and months and months and months. And no change in rankings, no negative impact on rankings. So I'm not concerned if you're not updating the site for its own sake. But there's an important realization you need to have, which is a day that I didn't add a new post to my site is a day where I did not improve the site's ability to earn. Because every single new post that targets a keyword group is another fishing line in the water. And that individual post may only have a 20 or 30 or 40% chance of panning out for you. Why it's so crucial to constantly, steadily, and persistently be adding new posts to a site to increase that footprint, get more fishing lines in the water. You've got your own time constraints, so I don't want you to feel overwhelmed or criticized if you can't post every day. I'm just setting the ideal standard and saying let's all see what we can do as a percentage of the ideal. So if the ideal is to post every day, You can't do that because you've got a life and commitments and whatever else. Then you try to post weekly, or you try to post every other week, or you just need to be consistent so that you're always improving your opportunity to grab new traffic and make more money. Someone asks about categorization, which is a great thing. People ask, well, do I need to categorize these posts? And yeah, you do. WordPress requires you. Well, it doesn't require you, but if you want the post to appear somewhere other than the uncategorized category, then you'll create categories. So I just happened to put this post about marketing on a tight budget. I put it in a category called marketing and advertising. People always want to know whether they need to keyword target their category pages. I personally do not. I don't give it a single thought. I don't care about keyword targeting my category pages. When I categorize a post, I'm thinking about a user landing on the site and saying, what are the categories that this site covers? What are the subjects that this site covers? One of the subjects that I cover on Big Enough Business is marketing and advertising. So that's what I put in as the category. Don't overthink it. And don't beat yourself up over it. It's not a very big deal at all. Someone asked about these tags. If you click on a tag, you guys can go ahead and go to this. It opens up a tag page. A tag page behaves very much like a category page. So on the tag page, it shows all of the posts which have been tagged with that individual tag. But the main reason I tagged it was not to create that tag page. I used that tag on this post because I wanted this keyword phrase to appear on the page. I just wanted these words on the page, and tagging it was the easiest way to get those words on the page. This is a little bit unrelated, but not a bad question. I'm getting paid as little as 6 cents per click. How can this all pay off? I've talked about it a few times over the course of the webinar, but to address the low click payout directly, I'll just say it again. This is a game of volume. If you look at the value of individual clicks, you will often be frustrated. How can I ever make a living 6 cents at a time? Well, you do it by just getting lots of 6-cent clicks. You don't have a click issue, you have a traffic issue. The more traffic you get, the more money you make. Also, if you have really low value clicks, and this is just something that we'll always talk about, how to monetize your traffic better, but there's so many ways to make money from keyword traffic. You've got Google AdSense, you've got Amazon affiliates, you've got developing your own product, you've got selling ads directly to advertisers. All these different ways, but none of them are possible until you have lots and lots of traffic, which is why I spend 90% of my time talking about traffic. So don't get discouraged by small clicks. Keep your focus on improving your traffic. The last question, I guess, is, are tags keywords you do not manage to use in the post? They can be. That's what I usually end up doing. Is if I couldn't fit a keyword variation into a post and I think it makes a sensible tag, I will use it as a tag. But I don't like to go past 2 or 3 tags. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I'll schedule another one of these for later in the week. We'll pick up where we left off and hopefully have another good session. Have a great afternoon or evening, and I will look forward to talking with all of you soon. Take care.